So perhaps one of the biggest lies of all that perpetrated more media frenzy was the fact that this investigator, Bob Heffernan, lied on his affidavit in order to get a search warrant and then later an arrest warrant. And the sheriff was in the next room, and everybody heard me say, clearly heard me say, the order in which the phone calls were made. Then, about an hour later, they run down the hall, whatever they had to do, to fill out this affidavit. And then they got a judge to sign it based on that lie. Come here. Okay, you see this little dot right here?
Yeah.
See that dot? There's light out there, a lot of light. Okay?
Yeah.
How are we gonna sleep? I'm crawling on my knees just to get around my house. See that light out the window?
Yep.
Okay, come here. Look at this. Come here. Videotape the lights. See that? See that? It's dark out. I told them no more interviews. I said no more interviews.
But the first call was to the FAA?
Yes.
And you don't remember it was on your cell phone or on the home phone?
I don't recall.
Okay. Was it the local office? Was it the
Loveland.
It was Loveland's
Loveland office, yes.
And how is that in the phone book?
That's how I got it. Yahoo Yellow Pages.
Yahoo Yellow Pages?
Yep.
Okay. Yahoo Yellow Pages. And it's Loveland the FFA.
FAA.
FAA.
Yep.
Yeah. You're not looking for future farmers, I assume.
Yeah.
Okay. And my understanding is they tell you to call 911?
Yeah, and I found it to be shocking because I would have called. I actually thought to call 911. I'm going, they don't have any way to fly up there, so that's why I thought of the FAA. I shouted to my wife. I said, I don't care who you get somebody with a helicopter down. Okay, so she went and had. She was calling different people. Her idea was to call the news helicopters because of the traffic stuff. So she's in another room doing whatever she's doing. They tell me to call 911. So I called 911, and somebody told me they're blasting. How do they get the 911 call? How can they do that?
Well, it's freedom of information is basically, they can get that through freedom of information.
I haven't heard it, but somebody said that they're planning the 911 call.
So you call 911?
Yes.
Okay. And your wife calls for helicopters
Yeah.
from the news people?
Yeah, well, I think she called a couple of people, some kind of helicopter rental service maybe or something like that. I'm not sure what she did. I'll have to get the details from her. But she called one of the people, and then you weren't the first officer.
No, the uniformed deputy was there, and then I came.
Right. That's right. You weren't wearing a
Jake Bowser.
You weren't wearing a uniform. Okay, that's right.
Jake Bowser was the first deputy.
Right. Okay. He asked me to tell him what's going on. Oh wait, I get back up.
Sure.
So, okay, she calls them. They hung up on her. Okay. I get irritated.
Okay.
I said, I know they're probably going to make fun of her accent or something. People do it all the time. And or she wasn't clear on the phone, or they thought it was a prank. Okay. And I'm thinking, oh my God, she got somebody with a helicopter. Let's call somebody. Let's call. I had to redial. Call out. I said, who is this? And they said 9 News. Okay. And I said, do you guys have a helicopter? First thing. And he said, why? And oh no. He said yes, we have a helicopter. He's kind of pompous, like I don't know why he got an attitude with me. But then I said, listen, I got a situation on my hand. I called the FAA. I called 911, and here's the scoop. After they interrogated me, about an hour later, they run down the hall, fill out an affidavit, which is a complete utter lie. An hour later, to get a search warrant for my house. So they influenced the public official to sign a search warrant, and they lied on the affidavit. Now this Jim Broderick, he's up for 8 counts of perjury, and several of those, he perjured himself on an affidavit. You know, these guys, man, this is what they do in Fort Collins. This is what the Fort Collins cops do.
Richard called the Federal Aviation, FAA, Channel 9 News Denver, then Emergency Dispatch, and reported that Falcon was missing and presumed to be in the experimental flying saucer that was now adrift. Okay, so based on that lie, they got a judge to sign the arrest warrant. Look at item number 17. RICHARDHEENE told your affiant he first called the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA. He then called Channel 9 News in Denver, Colorado. Only then did he call Emergency Dispatch 911 to report Falcon was missing and presumed to be in the experimental flying saucer, which was now adrift. To prove that I made the phone calls in the order I made them, I called the FAA. They told me to call 911. I did. You can hear my voice, and I guess they blasted it all over the internet. You can download it. And if you listen closely, she puts me on hold because it was the wrong 911. My wife comes over to take the phone. She gives me a phone number, and you can hear my voice in the background. If you crank it up, hear my voice in the background. And I said, as soon as the guy picks the phone up, I said, do you guys have a fucking helicopter? You can hear it in the background. Listen to it.
911, what's the address for your emergency?
The address, 5434. So listen, I called the FAA. They told me to call you guys. I would have thought that they could, I don't know, send something up. Is there a helicopter or something?
Just hold on 1 second, okay?
All right.
We're going to get you some help, but just stay on the phone.
Okay.
All right? Okay, can I speak to your wife?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Hold on 1 second for me, okay? I'm just going to get you to Larimer County. Stay on the phone. I don't know the name. Let me talk first, okay?
911, what's the address of your emergency?
Hi, this is Fort Collins with the transfer.
I don't know the name.
So the fact is, Bob Heffernan and Sheriff Jim Alderden, they are the ones who influenced a public official, not me. It was with that lie.
Call news media first, or did they actually call dispatch?
My understanding is, and I'm afraid I haven't seen a timeline on all this, so I'll tell you what I believe to be the case today. Our understanding is that his first call was to the FAA, and that the second call was made to 9 News with the belief that they had a helicopter that might be able to assist, and that sometime afterwards they called 911.
So Larimer County Sheriff's Department is solely responsible for causing the media frenzy.